Welcome back, Space Marines. This is episode 2 of my Let's Play series, Metroid Dread. In our last episode, we watched as Samus was ambushed on planet ZDR while trying to hunt down the X-Parasite. Following that, Samus was then being hunted herself by the EMMI, otherwise known as Extraplanetary Multiform Mobile Identifier. In our adventures, we managed to destroy the first two EMMI. There might have been a little confusion on how the Omega Blaster works the first try. We also defeated Corpius, the first big monster you faced. My first attempt was flawless. When we last left off, we had just obtained the phase shift ability. The phase shift ability has two main uses. It gets us past motion sensor doors, and it hides us from EMMI if we get spotted. One thing I found a little annoying was the sudden presence of this weird mushroom? Bullets, missiles, and even the new phase shift has no effect on it. It's the game's rude way of telling us to go the other way since we can't deal with it right now. So let's go exploring. In the Metroidvania genre of games, the game only hints where you need to go. We can't deal with hot rooms, but we're now able to sneak past motion sensor doors unlike before, as well as use the spider magnet ability to reach new places. Up here, we discover a new device, an elevator that will introduce us to the second zone. It even gives us a glimpse on how large the entire game is going to be. You can even see the end goal, Samus' ship at the very top. The new zone of Cataris will have a different feel to it than the starting zone of Artaria. Artaria felt a lot more jungle-like, whereas Cataris feels more cave-like. It introduces stronger enemies as well. There's also a big theme on lava and hotter rooms that we can't deal with just yet. Now remember last episode when I said you should always shoot the walls? I found this part especially annoying as well, since it almost took me an hour of exploring to find it. After entering Cataris, shoot the walls to your left to proceed. Remember this. With the new theme on heat, you're going to find a few of these thermal control panels in order to open new doors. And as always, more teases of future features, including purple shielded doors and weird electric blue symbols. And of course, what new zone wouldn't be complete without the next EMMI that will hunt us down? While we have a new ability to cloak that lets us hide, this EMMI also has a new ability. Unlike the last one, this one can squeeze through tight spots. Yeah, that didn't go so well. I didn't realize it at the time that I could slide through this passage. By the way, if you look back at the door on the left, What I also didn't realize, since this was my first playthrough after all, is that if you ever see a door that's completely locked on one side on the map, but unlockable on the side you're on, remember to open it. This will usually unlock both sides of the door permanently. Now that the thermal power has been redirected, we have to go back and find what passageways were open. Also, at the time of this recording, I also just learned that by pressing the left arrow key on the left Joy-Con, you can expand the radar a bit to see if the EMMI is nearby. As we continue to explore, we find many devices that can open new paths to new areas. I also didn't learn this until much later. Those doors that close when you walk on the sensor pads are great when you're trying to run away from enemies. This thing is an interesting structure. Now being introduced to another element of the game. Doors with 3 yellow triggers light up when I shoot them. But it seems they all want to light up at the same time. This kind of teases the possibility of a spread gun coming later. This fancy little gadget here starts moving the magnetic platforms in another room I was in before, as well as drains the lava in another room, allowing me to get access to more items in more areas. Here I also discover a new kind of item, energy parts. If I collect 4, I will get an additional 100 energy. Meanwhile, that platform I moved earlier gave me a full energy tank anyway. At first, I thought such a large room was meant for a boss fight. Turns out I only discovered a tram station, allowing me to access yet another zone, Diaron. Unlike the fiery caves of Cataris, Diaron is mostly mechanical. After a relatively short trek, we discover the wide beam. At first, I thought the wide beam was something we had to occasionally equip. What I find pretty awesome about this game is that the ability to shoot 3 beams at a time becomes a permanent upgrade. And before we've even dealt with the second EMMI, we're introduced to the third. The first one climbs, the second one can squeeze through small areas, the third one is fast. And as you can see, this one caught up with me pretty easily. This was actually my third attempt at running away from him. He's that quick. Let's take our new wave beam back to Cataris, where we can deal with a couple doors we remember seeing before. Whenever I encounter the eye bosses, or more appropriately named central units, I get a little excited because we know what's coming next. I get to kill the EMMI that's right outside. And you can never be too careful with these things. And with that, we are done. This EMMI grants us the Morph Ball ability, an iconic ability Samus has in the Metroid series. The Morph Ball will grant us access through many tunnels, including their many secrets. And more secrets. And more secrets. And even more secrets. That's 2 energy parts now. Now, what I, and what a few other people didn't realize that's about to happen here, is that when you redirect this thermal fuel flow, the room starts to cook and will kill you if you don't run. So we better get a move on. Shortly after that event, we discover the suit that Samus had when she first landed. The Varia suit. This suit reduces damage and renders us immune to the damage from hotter rooms. With this, we can now freely explore rooms that were marked red on the map. As we dive deeper into the caves filled with lava, I also learned you can counter these big rock creatures. We also keep hearing something roaring in the background, a sign that something's coming up. Now we fight the second big boss. This monster is also an iconic boss in the Metroid series. His name is Kraid. He's known for being big, green and shooting spikes out of his belly. And with him out of the way, we unlock yet another permanent upgrade to our weapon, the diffusion beam. When you use the charge beam, the beams will now explode where they hit, causing extra damage, as well as allowing us to hit more secrets that are hidden within the walls. And with that, I'll end this episode right here. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.